afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero of Strike, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to 1 vs 1 on Khan. Here in the south, we got WUff fighting for Germany and the 21st Panzer Division holding out here in the ruins of Lorraine, defending the city under orders of the Führer. In the north, we got Arnolaz fighting for America, freedom and democracy here with the 1st Armored Division tasked with clearing it out. And we got here Lightning War, Mobile Defense and Mechanized Assault with 3 infantry bulletins versus Arnolaz's Tactical Support, Armor Company and Heavy Cavalry Company with reassurance bulletins and infantry otherwise. We got a standard start here from WUff, MG42's Grenadiers, and similarly from Arnolaz, it is double riflemen heading eastwards there with reassurance. Going to probably go for the fuel point there, the rifle could then head for the western fuel point. For WUff, it looks like he's also spreading out a little bit, sending his MG42 far ahead of the rest of the forces. That's always a bit risky, and particularly heading into the east there, where there's a lot farther between the points. So I'm less sure there what WUff is planning here in the early game, as he moves through the broken streets of Lorraine. Grenadiers moving up there, we got nothing there. We got points being seized with the Pioneers, and we got an immediate choice there of Heavy Cavalry, hardly a surprise to anyone who's a regular player or a regular viewer of the Propagandacast. Player of the game, viewer of the Propagandacast. Damn it. But there's Heavy Cavalry there, so that could mean he could actually lay down some mines. He's laying down sandbags, but he's preparing there to encounter German resistance. We've got the MG4 sitting up here to cover the area here. Might want you to more directly support his infantry, since they'll definitely need the machine gun support. We got more Grenadiers on the way for the WUff, and we got a very early mortar there for Arnolaz after the true rifle. Not very, but still pretty early. I've seen some, though, go for like double mortars after single rifle squad, but he's going for one after 2 rifle squads. So that is still pretty damn early. The MD42 is not supporting. So right here, the Grenadiers running into a lot of problems with 2 rifle squads. He's going to have to eject the MD42 there from the house and support the Grenadiers here. I mean, even 2 Grenadiers is going to struggle against these running, particularly due to how there's a lot of heavy cover here, which is going to make it difficult for them to get in there. He's going to need an MD42 to somehow level the playing field. But so far, WUff is more concerned with holding a piece of land there he doesn't even own, and actually supporting his Grenadiers in trying to get the upper hand here around the point, in particular since he's actually holding the CoH point to the fuel point. Still nothing there. We got the mortar and it's moving up to support the rifle, so this is quickly going to turn very disadvantageous to WUff. Then in fact he might in fact be forced to abandon this area, drop the fuel point here, to try and push for the eastern fuel point, because right now things are going to get very unpleasant here for WUff, since Arnolaz is wisely enough bringing up mortar support his rifle here, giving him further advantage. He's trying to move about here and support the Pioneers over here, who are now getting pinned down behind a broken piece of wall. Grenadiers moving up, we've still got a rifle squad there supporting. Right, there we go, being flanked there by the Grenadiers, moving slightly further away here, and then pulling back towards the rest of the forces, more sitting up there in the square. In the south, we got the USF just grabbing point, completely harassed or unimpeded, and the MD42 continues to get, dust. Rifling up there versus Grenadiers again. We got the mortar sitting up. This is going to quickly turn ugly there for WUff, most likely. We got rifle moving up there. 3 rifle squads on the field now. Grenadiers there take a cataclysmic hit there from the mortar there, taking out most of the squad. And there's only just 2 units here, and they're also going to suffer pretty hard there under mortar fire. He's going to have to retreat from here. We got another Pioneer squad here from WUff early on. Pretty interesting. Those soldiers gone for 3 Grenadier squads. He's got 3 of those, plus an MG42 bringing up the other Grenadier squad here. Going to hit there the mortar, which is actually now exposed. The MG42 remains here. They're still not going to be doing anything there. Generally, I find in the early game, you generally want to use your machine gun actively to support your infantry, whereas WUff is using it pretty passively. Grenadier squad more pushed back here. He does manage to push back in the mortar. The problem is he's up close here with the rifle squad, and there's a nearby, and the Pioneers, for example, won't hold the rifle squad there from to support the first one. They're interesting enough. Arnolaz isn't just focusing down the Grenadiers without ignoring the Pioneers in the process. In the south, we've got the 2nd Pioneer squad moving up. The MD42 in the centre is finally going to have something to shoot at. Except apparently it can't. Because it can't see, I think. Yup. There's basically a blind spot here. Oddly enough. Basically meaning he can't see there. So the MD42 further fails to serve a purpose there for WUff. Adding insult to injury. Not only did it fail to do anything, but what it was supposed to do, it couldn't even do that either. And that's why it always pays, to pay attention to what MGs can see when they stuff them into houses, though it's a bit of an odd flaw to have there. I suppose to make sure to can't dominate this area too much, making it too easy for the southern player to defend it. But right now, again, he can't see anything. In the east here we got Pioneers versus Reechelons. WUff is very much focused on trying to grab back the territory and again so trying to maybe shift angles and again get the machine gun somewhere a bit more useful. Second gun has got the rifle here. In this case, the gun should have the upper hand there versus the rifle already low on health. He's behind cover. Rifle forcing him up close. And there you go down to 2 men. And there goes second gun has got the arriving. Pioneers taking also in the east from the Reechelons. Back here, troops reinforcing. No, we have take up there for WUff, though that's good. As for Mr. Arnolaz, we got the captain on the way, plus the ambulance going there for the CoH point as well. Rifle push back, and the mortar is operating around the centre. He's probably seen the mortar, knowing he can't do anything, but he's probably still got to deal with it. You know, just punish WUff there for putting in an MD42 in a spot where he can't really doing anything. Grenadiers going for the victory point there, and the 81mm mortar opens up there on the German machine gun. Well, it's a bit weird though, since technically the windows can see above the wall here, but you know, sometimes the game can a bit weird there on the line of sight and how, you know, for example, high elevated windows work. Sometimes it doesn't work, other times it does, so it gets a bit weird like that, to be honest. I'm not sure if this is intentional from the map maker's side or what, but there you go, MD4 being pushed back, and it's being overwhelmed by the riflemen. Pioneers holding up the house, not entirely sure what it's having to do with that. In the west, north part here, the Grenadiers moving onwards. We can try and move in through here and flank the mortar crew. In the south, Grenadiers push back here, but the rifle also fall back. Like to make a nice company up there for WUff and the 21st Panzer Division.
Crowds are sniffing around our asses. Tactical
Grenadiers moving from the north here, more directly at the mortar crew. Pioneers around with the flamethrower, going to try and burn out those Yankees. And now the mortar's actually exposed. There we go, rifle catching on fire. As if they're struck down by God. You know, Otto, those Americans burn really well. Yeah, it's all their fat. It makes a flamethrower really effective. Ah, I see. That would explain why it doesn't work so well on the Russians. Yeah, underfed. Bunker up here for WUff. Nothing yet. I would like to make a nice company. We got the MD42 man back on the field. Will he stop it back there or what? We got a Telemann here on the crossroads. Not bad. At the same time, could risk being rushed off there. It looks like there's no one in sight. Rifle in there with BARs. We got Captain out as well. As we can see here, Arnolaz is focusing both on infantry. It's hard there, but it's also preparing for the Stuart. So that could definitely be a bit of a problem there for WUff there. We got no minesweepers up, so he's not expecting any Telemines though from WUff. And is he going to stuff that MD42 back into that house? It looks like it. Looks like WUff isn't really learning anything from that one. Yeah. Okay, looks like this time he's got... Nope, as soon as the Grenadiers move out, he can't see anything. There you go, rifleman in front of though. But at the same time, the MD4 is all alone healthy, so I'm not told you how that's going to work out there. There we go, they suppress the MD4, the rifleman there, pushing them back. Up north, Grenadiers sneaking in there. Mortar hanging back at the base, not ready to move out. Got troops are healing, reinforcing. Still nothing out. They like to make a nice company in there. Go MD42, push back off. Grenadiers there versus Reechelons. Reechelons going to lose out to that one. The WUff are still, despite everything, managed to grab back a nice chunk on the map here versus Arnolaz. That's something there for WUff. A lot of BARs up there for Arnolaz, and he got the Reechelons there. That's a definite victory there for WUff and the German army. Captain here, they're taking a few shots. Mortar, they're going to get caught by Grenadiers. We actually decide to move into the square to sort of investigate there, maybe flank behind the captain. Pioneers need to retreat. They're not really seeing anything there by the wall. And we got Rangers out here from Arnolaz. On this map, you know, Rangers is definitely a good choice over the Thompson BARs that can quickly clear out a lot of Germans rapidly under the right circumstances. We got Pack 40s out here since he's, you know, expecting enemy armor and is obviously not expecting a Telemine. So, you know, be able to do it all on his own. That would be pretty ambitious, if not downright, you know, silly. Conversely, the Arnolaz has yet to lay down any mines. Then again, with all the BARs he's been equipping and the fact he's planning for Rangers for the Thompsons, I mean, he's obviously not going to have any munitions for the mines anytime soon. Grenadiers falling back. We've got their rifle forces streaming forwards. Nothing to immediately support them with. And they're basically going to have to retreat here, the full squad as well. I mean, he's got nothing to halt that with. We got Pioneers, we got the MD42. Grenadiers retreating, and he's stuffing that MD42 back in the same house, isn't he? Grenadiers are reinforcing.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Rather than moving towards the northern victory point. No, it actually sets up. It looks like it just auto sets up against the Rangers. Nope, sets it up again. Mortify there, actually a pretty bad spot to be set up there, honestly, with a mortar nearby. That could have been a one hit, one machine gun down. Wall 2 is actually collapsing, so now the MD42 is suddenly going to be a lot more useful, so now can actually cover more of the map. But the most part, except there's still lots of wall blocking, so it's not quite working out as well as that. He's going to need to basically clear all of this out for this machine gun to be fully effective. In the south here, rather than pushing back the Pioneers, they're not making much progress. Grenadiers heading northwards. We've got light machine guns on the way for some of WUff's infantry. In fact, several Grenadier squads there being equipped with the lightest machine gun gewehr, Zweiten und 40. Up north there we got tech for Arnolaz, so he's not just going to rely on Stuarts, he's not even bothering, he's moving straight ahead for the medium armour here to support his infantry in the narrow streets. Up north though, another push for the CoH on there. Attention has been drawn towards the centre. Arnolaz pulls a quick move here north and cuts off WUff from his fuel. Very good move there, I think, by Arnolaz. Pretty sharp perception there of the position of WUff's force on the battlefield. Down here though, nothing further going on. He's also taking up though, aiming for medium armour as well, but that is definitely not a bad idea for WUff. Rather than that versus the Pioneers with the captain in support, a lot of bazookas there. Arnolaz got his anti-tank team ready to deal with any Kraut tanks or vehicles, though so far WUff has yet to aim down for that. And obviously with a quick take up like that, he's not going to go for that anytime soon. Grenadiers still looks like he was mounting them with a bit slight differences there. Need to pull them back into cover. Otherwise that's going to end up poorly for the Grenadiers, and there you go, they're quickly getting shredded here by heavy automatic fire. In the north here we got Grenadiers pushing back the rifle Pioneers, but shortly we got mortar fire back on the MG42. Continued pressure here. Thomas got the cap for the rifle, I think of the big issue. We got a bazooka there dropped. We can pick it up, in fact we probably shouldn't pick it up unless he wants WUff to have himself an extra anti-tank weapon. There you go, Grenadiers push back by the rifleman. Up north there, might want to grab out that CoH point, have WUff, and get back some fuel for some panzers. As for Arnolaz, he's yet been able to upgrade his Rangers with the Thompsons. And it's not like they're bad without them, but they perform a lot better with the Thompsons. They're still pretty good with the carbines. Though so far, Arnolaz hasn't been able to leverage his Rangers very well there. And these out in the open, there's a rifle heavy cover. That's not going to work out well, even eventually. The rifle simply are too heavily equipped there. And then go down to him. He's trying to rifle grenade it. Oh, jeez, that was pretty ambitious. MG42 falling back there from the house, which is about to collapse. Going for the victory point. Not the CoH on there. Perhaps a bit of an oversight by WUff. And we got the support core up there. You could, by the way, consider some Panzer Grenadiers. And a map like Khan, I mean, the closer quarters will make Panzer Grenadiers even more, bit more effective there. Major moving down there will probably grab the bazooka and deny it to the Krauts. North, battalion command post there. Up. There you go. Look at this, John. I call it a freedom launcher. Why? Because it launches freedom. No, it launches high explosives. Shut up. Similar sign of some Thompsons there. What they're being seized. In the south, you've got Pioneers versus the Major. Grenadiers versus the Rangers out in the open though. There's a lot of heavy machine gun fire and rifle fire there. I mean, they don't really stand much of a chance though. I mean, they're pretty much just overwhelmed there by more heavily equipped Grenadiers and more numerous Grenadiers with more experience. Mortar there being pushed back as WUff's moved to secure the centre victory point in the area around there. We've got riflemen operating around the rear areas. Pioneers running back. MG4 swimming towards that. That's a bit risky there by WUff. No armour yet. Arnolaz in that regard is going to be close to it because WUff has still yet to get back his cut-off point, whereas Arnolaz has for the most part had an unimpeded fuel flow. So that's less good there for WUff and the 21st Panzer Division. Even as he's pressuring back Arnolaz elsewhere. And, oh, hello, there's a mortar. Why aren't you grabbing it, WUff? That's a mortar, that's an American mortar. Blessed by Satan himself. Get it. There we go, Panzer Grenadier for WUff. Why isn't grabbing that light machine gun? It's right there. Right there. Might be hoping to bait someone into it. We've got barbed wire here. He's going for the CoH one. They're returning the favour to Arnolaz, even as he's grabbing WUff's fuel point up in the north. MG42 moving in. They're going to have to deal with the rifle in there. And they'll need something to clear it, support it, because otherwise the MG42 could easily be flanked. Mortar has been accrued. Grenadiers swarm back, so that really did not achieve anything there for WUff. Again, I'm not entirely sure why I managed to overlook that one. Pioneer's going to hit by the captain. North there, we got the MG42 then engaging the rifle and sending them running with 1,200 rounds per minute.
We are losing a sector.
Grenadiers moving there amongst the ruins. Back down here. Still far away from any armour, due again to the harassment there. And the lack of a fuel point, though he's actually currently getting more fuel than Arnolaz. How briefly that lasts. Mortar cleared out again. Really this time actually grab it. You got more light machine guns there, I think, for WUff's Grenadiers. Rangers under fire from them. Fun fact, the name Grenadier came about after the losses at Stalingrad and such, as the name to boost morale. Before that they were called just Infanterie, but after that they were named or renamed Grenadiers. Similarly, the Panzer Grenadiers were before that known as Schützen, they became Panzer Grenadiers. There are a lot of sort of, name tightening like that happening as the war progressed further and further, sort of more bolder names came about. Sherman on the way there for Arnolaz. Quick bundle grenade there, pushing back the captain. Rangers, finally getting their Thompson submachine guns, a expensive and heavy submachine gun actually, which rather made the American army look for an alternative, which they finally found in the grease gun, which was roughest, effective, just cheaper and lighter, which obviously made it a lot better, but didn't obviously quite have the same, look to it as the Thompson. Rather than getting the Grenadiers just need to retreat. They don't stand a chance against that many riflemen BARs. Even if they're out in the open and not really using a lot of cover, the Grenadiers, I mean, they can just walk up to them. But it looks like the second Grenadier squad here does turn the tide. Then one squad actually retreated, and he's finally grabbing a mortar there, WUff. Finally denying and punishing Arnolaz there for not playing his mortar more carefully. Good work there, grabbing points here. We got a Sherman out there for Arnolaz and the 2nd Armoured Division. We got Lightning War for WUff. Got the M4 flea moving ahead here. Bit of munitions off there from the 50 caliber down here. Took reinforcing. Could go for Stuke to counter this, but more likely he'll end up with the Panzer IV. There we go, Sherman under fire. The MD-42 shot, though, harmlessly bounce off the frontal arm of the Sherman as it fires away there. High explosive rounds being fired at the Germans time and time again. But Arnolaz needs to do something more effective there against WUff's troops. Need to push him back and deal some serious damage. There you go, Pioneers being pushed back there. MD-42 could also take a nasty hit there, and looks like it gets away though. But not before losing Otto there. Big push down here. Gonna hit the Grenadiers, cut them off. You might want to consider a replacement mortar here, some other kind of artillery. Maybe a pack howitzer to sort of assist there. Because with an American mortar there, WUff is going to be quite a problem and quite a headache. There you go, quick take up in the fortified trench. Grenadiers under fire there. Sherman coming in to support. We got Rifle, we got Captain moving down for the southern victory point. Victory point wise, by the way, Arnolaz got the lead there with WUff. Rifle grenade off there, pushing back the Rifleman. Bit hasty for retreat there, I think. And there we go, wipes the Grenadiers. One shot, one kill. Good lord, that's got to feel bad for WUff. Last handing a 50 cover there, but that was one hell of a shot there in cover, but just one shot it. Rears there being pushed back. Mortar, Pack 40 all hiding here in the southern square. Sherman about here, rolling about now as the armoured menace it is there to WUff's troops. WUff currently lacking anything. He's actually going for a fuel cache here. That's not a bad idea though. Might want to be careful not to range too far. I mean, he doesn't know if WUff has actually laid down any mines. We know he has, but he doesn't know if he has or where they are. I mean, one wrong move that he could be immobilized with his tank in front of a Pack 40, which is generally not where you want your Sherman to be. There we go. Wipes another Grenadier squad there. This Sherman is having a huge impact on the battlefield so far versus WUff. He is just suffering there. That is just 2 full Grenadier squads, plus there's a light machine gun there, which Arnolaz's men could use and turn against WUff as well. This is quickly turning into a nightmare for WUff and the 21st Panzer Division. Casualties are piling up here. Troop ceiling reinforcing there. He can soon go for another Sherman, or could actually go for a Scott to provide a bit of light artillery support on the move. And we got more Grenadiers there for WUff. He could of course go for Panzer Grenadiers, but looks like WUff has a bit of a soft spot for the regular infantryman. Rangers sending him out here, admiring the handiwork of the Sherman. I mean, you've got to look at that. His brain's all over the place. There we go, Pioneers being caught here by the Rangers. Sherman moving in as well. Heavy damage here. Quickly gunning down the Pioneers with the Thompsons. The 45 caliber rounds just making short work of them. And we could see a wipe there. WUff lost the Pioneer squad as well. Arnolaz is quickly turning things around here thanks to the Sherman. I'm not sure if WUff actually expects it. I mean, there's certainly more and more American players who do try to, yes, rush for the Sherman, since it can have an even bigger impact than the Stuart have done correctly. Need to fix up the Sherman. He's doing it a bit close to the front line, though. I mean, one wrong move here could lose the vehicle crew and the Sherman to WUff. So that's a bit damn risky there. We got Reasons, we got the rifle moving up here. Sherman almost good to go. Hang on. Oh, there we go. We're pretty awkward, though, if it had over Sherman there to WUff. That would have been pretty awkward. Rangers, they need to retreat. The lone health. He's going to pop a grenade there. Can he round the corner? Out. Rangers wiped there. He should have just hit retreat as soon as that happened there. They were already low on health. So that was just eventually 2 Ranger squad there lost for Arnolaz. That's a bit of a waste, to be honest. Second Ranger squad there arriving. More going to do second loss from the Sherman. That thing is just on fire. I mean, that is one devastating Sherman there that Arnolaz has got himself hands on. Almost wiped another Grenadier squad. Really, that Sherman has taken a beating out on WUff. Pack 40 nearby. Needs to keep his Sherman the supported, though. I mean, again, infantry and tanks working together is important, of course. I mean, it is vital to keep in mind that the Americans actually struggled with this throughout the war. There were many cases where one would run off from the other as soon as things got sour, and generally things were a bit sour between the tanks and the infantry. There we go, Run following up. Here's the pack getting outmaneuvered here by the Sherman. Rifleman supporting as well. He's going to wipe the Pack 40 crew there. Panzer's almost getting wiped as well here. This is increasingly looking bad for WUff. It seems like WUff with the fuel cache is actually trying to play for the Tiger instead. Bit risky there, considering the current state of enemy armor on the field and the losses he's taken in the process. But if he plays the Tiger well, he could turn things around. But this is risky. This is very risky here by WUff, playing for the Tiger right now against Arnolaz. As Arnolaz is just swinging out hard here, thanks to the Sherman. I mean, the Stuger Panzer IV could have helped keep it a bit more in control, while he then tried to train for the Tiger. But right now, he's lost his anti-tank gun as well. So now Arnolaz has got a Pack 40 to help deal with the Tiger. He's got bazookas, he's got Sherman, he's got Rangers, Riflemen. I mean, the only thing he doesn't have is a mortar, because WUff stole that one for the fatherland. So yeah, this is a quick turnaround here, all centered around the Sherman. I mean, that thing is an absolute beast under the right circumstances. In particular, again, if your opponent doesn't quite have the anti-tank assets to deal with it, and you decide to go for a Tiger. So, I mean, really, strategically, that was not a very good decision there by WUff. I mean, it could prove to be the right one longer term, but right now, he's put himself into a very bad spot there against Arnolaz. As Arnolaz German, he's just on a rampage. And it's now Veterans who won. And if you get another tank to work with it, he can basically get this bonus there going, which means he's going to be firing even faster. Grenadiers there taking heavy fire though from the Sherman. 50 cavalry breaking down the unfortunate Grenadiers. 17 kills. Pack 40 there opens up, gets a good hit in the Sherman. The Sherman has to pull back. Could actually hit the Tellermines ever know. Takes a brief detour through the ruins instead. Trusting not on the roads. Goddamn crap roads. Using the metric system. Goddamn. This time here for the mid-game analysis in terms of damage. WUff's ahead kills wise, though Arnolaz has basically bolted hit a WUff there. Basically, I think, imagine parting due to the Sherman. I mean, the Sherman names counts for quite a bit of the difference there. Of course, that still means that Arnolaz has been doing quite well there. On the end, of course, terms, of course, he's been having more armor on the field than WUff. He has suffered more damage, though. Obviously, he hasn't lost to Sherman. Army value-wise, Arnolaz is just, bolting ahead again. WUff's decision right now to go for the Tigers really put WUff in a bad spot versus Arnolaz. As that I was about to say Arnolaz, but that Sherman is just really earning its keep by just punching in WUff's face again and again, wiping out Grenadiers left and right, taking out packs and just doing a lot of damage. He's already got 17 kills. Again, that's quite a bit there. Resource float wise, they're both floating though. Arnolaz obviously is aiming for the Tiger, or not the Tiger, he's aiming for the Pershing. Obviously his tanks will be aiming at the Tiger, but he's not aiming for the Tiger. Of course, there's a big difference though between WUff and Arnolaz. WUff's got fuel caches. Arnolaz does not. He's not preparing for it properly. And that could give WUff their bit of a chance there. Plus, he's close to the Tiger. So probably what Arnolaz should be aiming for is actually a Pershing, or the Jackson first, get up some fuel caches, and then aim for the Pershing. Going for the Pershing now could give WUff their chance of giving his Tiger there a bit of chance to do some damage and sort of turn things further around Arnolaz. So, I mean, again, if he really wants the Pershing, fuel caches, get a few of them. Points held, pretty heavy swings there between the two again. Arnolaz initially, then WUff, then Arnolaz, then WUff, then Arnolaz. I mean, it's really been back and forth here between the two players. It's sort of big swings, and as one gets the other and sort of catches them off guard, the other sort of takes a bit of a punch and turns around. So we'll of course have to see when the next big swing comes around and then see if it swings back again. But for WUff, again, risky play, but he needs to get out. The Tiger needs to play it carefully, he needs to support it properly. His opponent does have numerous bazookas, Shermans, and a Pack 40. I mean, that's something that could quickly do a lot of damage to the Tiger if WUff is not careful. And if WUff loses that Tiger, that's GG on the spot. So he needs to keep that Tiger alive no matter the cost. After that, maybe some Panther grenadiers further to support the Tiger, work with it, and otherwise get out more armor to work with his Tiger tank. Otherwise, try and pressure more on the south here again, force Arnolaz to run here and there, keep him a bit on the back foot, while at the same time, of course, launching bigger attacks here and there, and of course, keep the mortar nearby to support the front line, maybe lay down some smoke screens if need be. As for Arnolaz, again, fuel caches, Jackson out first, then the Pershing. I mean, he could try and play for the Pershing, but again, that's still going to require at least 2 fuel caches to really, support, because currently he's still quite a bit off from the Tiger, or the Pershing, whereas WUff is not from the Tiger, and he just decided to wait it out, which again, is risky, and he is suffering for it again thanks to the Sherman, but again, if Arnolaz then decides to wait for the Tiger, god damn it, why do I keep calling the Tiger, for the Pershing, then, again, he could end up losing that advantage, then WUff's Tiger does what Arnolaz, Pershing or Sherman did. So again, needs to bring up more anti-tanking again in that regard. A Jackson or another Sherman here could work out quite well. You should also consider laying down some mines here at some of the more major junctions. That way, catch up any enemy armor and deal with it that way. But also, fuel caches, maybe a bit more extra infantry, or, another mortar or a pack counter. I mean, there's plenty of options. They could also, down the road, maybe go for the lieutenant, actually get some 50 caliber machine guns, which could, I think, be quite helpful in containing some WUff's infantry and maybe, suppress them while trying to deal with WUff's Tiger. So, I mean, there are a lot of options here, but let's return to the fight before I keep calling the Pershing a Tiger and the Tiger a Pershing. Damn it. Panzer goes moving towards the centre, halfway to Vet 72. 40, Rifleman, Rieshan's moving ahead. Fun fact, Patton there, he sort of drove towards the Alsatian Rain region, basically begging for a lot of resources, which he didn't necessarily get, though, basically at the same time was basically scavenging all the equipment used from the Germans to fuel it as well, which of course he didn't report he was doing, I believe. There you go, we got the Tiger out here for WUff to support the 21st Panzer Division from the 107th Schwer Panther Abteilung. Pack 40 opening up in the Sherman, Rieshan's there taking losses, Panther Grenadiers firing away. Hits a wall, Rifleman moving up support there, Sherman needs to pull back further. Rifleman moving up here, Panther they're taking a lot of damage out in the open, need to be careful around the Sherman as well. There you go, could see a wipe there, could see a wipe, WUff was too slow, and fought out in the open in the middle of the road. That was definitely not the best decision there by WUff. Cost him a rather veteran Panzer squad. There you go, Morton being caught here by the Rangers and the Rifleman. Could wipe it out and take it back, plus we got an MD-42 set off completely up there by WUff. Grenade on it as well. Wipes it there with the Rangers. Mortar gets away though. Pack 40 getting flanked. But with the Tiger nearby there, swinging his 88mm gun around there and threatening the Americans. Obviously, they pull back. You could steal there the MD-42 and turn against WUff. That would be pretty bad news for WUff, who's now taking further casualties here against Arnolaz, though he is doing a bit there against Arnolaz. Does not steal the MD-42. We've got a Grenadier squad there still supporting. Rifleman flanking in to deal with the Grenadiers to get the Rangers back up and going. Tiger could move in there to deal with the Rangers then. Up north, need to get the Sherman back. They just get it out of there. Pack 40 as well. Grenadiers are close being wiped. Bad decision there by WUff. Bad decision. Remember, cover, WUff. Cover. Huge loss again for WUff. WUff's barely got anything left now. He's got a pack of Mortar, Pioneer, and a Grenadier squad left. And against several rifle squads, Rangers, Shermans, Packs, Captains. Smokescreen being laid down here with Arnolaz. He's trying to get away with the Sherman here from the Tiger. Tiger sort of goes into the smoke, and the Sherman escapes into the safety of the base here. Will WUff pursue with this Tiger? In for the Sherman into the base, which is surprisingly close to Vet 72. He needs to get it all the way over there. Nope. WUff breaks off the hunt here. The tiny Sherman tank. Luckily, again, there were no mines which could have caught up the Tiger. That would have really been a menace for WUff. He got a pack 40 there abandoned. He could grab it, he could wreck it. He's getting more Grenadiers now since, well, they are cheap to get, and right now he just needs some infantry. He needs some boots on the ground to quickly fill out, his ranks. So Grenadiers in this case does make sense. So of course, still some Panzer Grenadiers being snuck in would be good. Laying down a Teller mine here, not bad idea by WUff. We got an anti-tank going on the way for Arnolaz as well. Again, he's aiming for the Pershing. And again, he's getting close to it, but still, he could have been there faster if he'd laid down some fuel caches. Fuel caches are quite beneficial, as WUff can attest to. In the south, we've got a rifle squad there causing havoc behind WUff's lines there. He's going to spot the fuel cache soon. We got the mortar there still firing away. Again, he did not grab the MD-42, which is then something WUff could grab back. Spotting the fuel cache there. Tiger pursuing. Backwards. Breaking through a lot of battered masonry. Bit of shooting there going around. Then there's a bit of trouble there with the rifleman. Tiger continues pursuit. Pershing is now available for Arnolaz and the 2nd Armoured. Rather than making a run for the ruins, but they're in front of the Tiger, and we didn't quite get the hit there. Running through, got a lot of riflemen there with bazookas. Captain there go, wipes the rifle squad. VAR drop. Pershing out there. Tiger falls back on the face of a lot of bazookas. Of course, moving is less accurate with his main gun, but there go a lot of bazookas there. Most fail to penetrate the thick 100mm armor on the front there. Damage engine on the Pershing hits the Teller mine. WUff had laid down previously, ruining Arnolaz's big Pershing surprise. Forcing him to then dispatch Troop to fix that out there. Even as his forces on the front line desperately needed armor support, which for some reason Arnolaz did not dispatch first. And that's definitely not a well-executed assault that perhaps Arnolaz got to a confident there. Despite knowing there was a Tiger on the front line, he still decided to rush ahead there. And then the Sherman hits the other mine. Oh dear. Basically, his infantry is left to fend for itself against a Tiger now, due to the Teller mines. I'm not entirely sure that's what WUff has intended, but that turned out to be pretty fortuitous. Now, unless he needs to be careful, just need to retreat. This is pretty much the time you accept, alright, things have gone pretty pear-shaped, and we get the devil out of there. And then go Arnolaz has to realise the situation is pretty much buggered up. Oh no! He accidentally retreated the vehicle crew! Ah! Oh no!
300 points remaining.
Oh no, and that was his veteran crew there. Oh no! WUff's having none of it though. He's not trying to grab it, he's just going to knock it out there with his Tiger, lighting it up on fire. That's got to feel really bad there for Arnolaz. And again, he's still been floating man, but again, he's not prepared himself to bring up another tank there. So his crew there replacing it, so at least that way make use of the, volumes of experience. I mean, really, that's basically what he's wasting right now. A lot of experience in that tank crew, which could be quite helpful, versus a Tiger, but also all the infantry supporting the Tiger. So that is pretty bad news there for Arnolaz. That's a pretty grim mistake. Nice hits down to the Pershing.
Is under attack.
100 points left here for WUff versus Arnolaz is 279. There you go, grabs a light machine gun. Because Arnolaz never bothered picking it up. Nor has WUff bothered picking up that machine gun there, still pointing at the wall. As a part of a really nearsighted execution squad. Careful, they're careful. Rather than the fire from the Tiger, Pershing moves in, but at the same time there's a pack 4 nearby, needs to be careful. Anti-tank gun, bazooka men moving up there, Pershing flanking up there, go damage engine, re-exposed to the Tiger, MB42 set up there. Dealing with a lot of the advancing troop, bazooka fire on the Tiger. Anti-tank gun nearby to support. Then there's Pioneers nearby, anti-tank, mortar takes a hit there. Could wreck the anti-tank, losing temperature, but looks like he's not quite getting that. Cap being pushed out there. Pershing rolling back, reassistance needs to get out of there, troops still being suppressed here by the near-sided machine gun crew, and there you go. Pershing moves in. Reassistance needs to get out of there. He's trying to deal with the machine gun crew when he's probably trying to get this Pershing out of there. There's still an anti-tank on the big recruit. There's still a Tiger, which is in now better condition than his Pershing. He's losing units left and right. This is bad for Arnolaz. Overconfidence is not doing him any favours. And neither is greed. Tiger there takes it from the 19mm gun there of the Pershing, same as on the Jackson, by the way. He's got enough munition here though for H-Wrap round. He could use it to deliver a crashing blow to the Pershing Tiger. But at this point, it's not going to matter the Tiger by blitzing in there to ensure it gets the kill. And there you go, main gun destroyed on the Pershing. No way for that one to survive. They should have retreated as soon as possible there with the damage engine, but instead there, Arnolaz just kept trying to get something out of it, and now he's ages off from another Pershing. Because again, he did not try to prepare ahead with fuel caches and didn't have any other armoured support because he made a mistake and didn't have anything else to replace with. This has quickly turned rather sour there for Arnolaz and the 2nd Armoured. A grim strategic misdecision. Turning around there again. He's trying to grab the Pack 40. The problem is he can't get it out of there, I think. I mean, he can try, but I'm less confident that's going to work out. Because we've got the Tiger nearby. We've got Canadians coming up, and his rifle there close being wiped out as well. Need to retreat them. He's getting more regular anti-tank gunners as well.
anti-tank gun.
Almost lost the rifle support there. Need to retreat the other one here. Since they start out in the open, you got the Tiger moving in there. Veterans won 14 kills for the fatherland. And then we hit the Tiger's line of fire, at least briefly were. Still, though, Arnolaz is helping control the map at the moment with his troop, but he's throwing away a lot of troops. They need to be careful. He's trying an anti-tank rifle grenade on the Tiger. That is... yeah, that was not worth a rifle squad. I mean, he's trying to go up there with a lot of bazooka teams. The problem is there's still a lot of infantry supporting the Tiger, plus heavy machine gun team in his bazooka assault there.
Germans are making a push.
Losing the captain, there's Army. He's really desperate to get the Tiger. The problem is, though, in his desperation, he's making a lot of poor calculations. He's suffering a lot here. Rather than just trying to set up for the Tiger in a better ambush, he's just throwing everything at the front of the Tiger. And WUff is very quick to punish that pretty severely. So good move there by WUff. Still got the vehicle crew there, lamenting the fact they accidentally ran away from the Sherman, allowing it to get nuked.
A capture point
Troops
is
are
under
reinforcing.
attack.
Down here we got point being ground, and we got tactical movement from WUff. Tactical. Very tactical.
The enemy is overrunning
Why is
one of
this
our
called
capture
tactical
points.
movement, Jürgen? I don't know. Of course, moving fast is tactical, I guess. Got a Panzer IV on the way to support the Tiger. A bit more Panzer Grenadiers on the way. Grenadiers here versus Rifle Rangers, and the Rangers there quickly send the Grenadiers right in there. Thompson submachine guns quickly gunning down Ludwig without mercy. Here we got the vehicle crew with the Grenadiers. There's no chances there of survival. He's got both fuel points, so he can quickly move towards the Pershing now. But the problem is, again, the Tiger's quite veteran, can soon hit the T2, and there's a Panther Force run on the way there. I mean, if he's expecting another Pershing, though, I mean, Stu would make more sense to support the Tiger, but obviously a Tiger supported by the Panther 4 can do a lot more damage to the infantry.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Rangers in for a bad day there. Pioneers supporting the Tiger, then engaging them here by the southern victory point, by the ruins.
Just got cut off.
Trying to hide about there, maybe doing some of the infantry, then wipe that with the submachine guns. He's even got a BAL on the Rangers, that's actually pretty nice. They can actually upgrade the Rangers with another weapon, even if it should get them the Thompson upgrade. Pioneers pushing back, but he needs to get the Rangers out there pretty quickly before the Tiger finishing them off. In the north, we've got a big push here again. Another blob assault there from Arnolaz, another human wave attack. He's opening up a lot of D-43s, rifle grenades. Got a rear squad there with his bazookas. There's some been dropped. Rifle need to make short work of the Grenadiers, but still, Arnolaz is beginning to suffer a lot more heavily. I think the Tiger is just mentally adding some serious pressure there to Arnolaz, and it's causing him to make a lot of poor decisions because he's just not entirely sure how to react to the Tiger. That's actually interesting there. That is interesting. I mean, it does, I think, speak a lot of the psychology of the game, which I do think is one of the aspects that generally doesn't get talked about enough. Panther 4 there rolling in. Doesn't have any free hands. He's got a water crew up finally. The problem is the Panther 4 is about to do something very nice to his men. The Tiger supporting. He needs to retreat. He's trying to do some damage now, dropping VARs and bazookas liberally. Get out of there, Arnolaz. Tiger closing on T2. Arnolaz is getting close to the Pershing, and he's dropping a lot of equipment there for WUff to utilize. WUff, no, not WUff. WUff. Mortar crew annihilated here by WUff's stout Tiger crew. Victory point wise, Arnolaz still got a lead, and of course he might even make these decisions because again he thinks he can just hold the victory point for a bit longer, he can bleed out WUff. But the problem is again, he's beginning to make a lot of short-term decisions, which in a strategy game can be really volatile decisions that can in theory work out, but the problem is if they don't, you're usually short-selling yourself quite badly. And that seems to be what not WUff, but Arnolaz is doing here right now, which is basically only vindicating WUff's decision to wait for the Tiger, since WUff then made the better long-term decision. I still say it's pretty risky there. Had Arnolaz kept a bit of a cooler head, things could look, I think, very differently. Martin grab the bazooka there. Bazooka fire there against the Panther Force that rolls back. Tiger there. Another Pershing now available for Arnolaz and the 1st Armored Division. Tiger pulling back there, close to it. T2 on the Tiger, which means increased range and increased accuracy. Down here we've got Rangers versus the Grenadiers. They just need to retreat. They don't stand a chance of the lone health. And he's popping a grenade here. Got quite a bit of range there. Apparently someone played baseball before the war. And there goes second Pershing out there for Arnolaz. Will this one succeed where the first one met a grim demise? Holy moly, just wiped out the big crew there. Veteran 2 for the Tiger. Bounces off the Pershing's frontal armor. Those anti-tank gun shot there bounces off the Tiger's armor. Second shot bounces as well. Panther fast there, fails to penetrate. Panther 4 moving up, Pershing rolling back there. A lot of shots bouncing off the Pershing's armor. Tiger is still Veteran 2. There he goes, shoots, penetrates the Pershing's armor. Tries to go for the machine gun crew, needs to be careful. His lot of his forces being overwhelmed in the meanwhile. Panther 4 continues the pursuit here for the Pershing. Another shot there. Is he taking up with something? Or it just seems like he could have been going for more armor. But then again, with Arnolaz control both fuel points, obviously, he doesn't have so much fuel. Still a lot of damage on the Pershing, but Arnolaz now is very low in the infantry part, whereas again, WUff has been able to rebuild his forces completely, and is now quite well supported here by the now veteran 2 Tiger, a veteran Tiger crew, hardened men on the Western Front. Of course, the fun thing is, as the war progressed, Tiger 1's got less and less common, whereas Tiger 2's got more and more common. So, little fun fact there. But hiding out here.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Before pulling back.
We've dropped to 100 points.
Points being seized. 100 points left there for Arnolaz. Going to be closer between WUff and Arnolaz. Mortar staying up, seemingly close to the Tiger. Panther 4 being repaired. I mean, it's got more damage, obviously, but I think prioritizing the Tiger to perform more well without having to worry too much is a good idea. Panther's going to disgrace the southern fuel point. Pershing good to go again. He's down to large re-echelons, a few rangers and riflemen. I mean, Arnolaz's forces have been quite depleted in the fighting against WUff. He has suffered quite gravely now.
We're losing a capture point.
And again, the decisions Arnolaz make aren't really helping him, you know, build up his forces to sustain anything. And he's sending his Pershing alone there, not to say supporting gain superiority, but he's trying to push forwards here into unknown territory. He doesn't know if WUff again has laid down more Tello mines. He doesn't know where the Tiger is. He doesn't know where the Panther 4 is. He doesn't even know there's a Panther gun with Panther flex hanging about there or anything. So, I mean, Arnolaz is taking a pretty big risk with his Pershing. In the south, you've often pushing back the Panther gun, and this catches in a pretty awkward position there with veteran infantry riflemen. Pershing moves ahead here, gets half the Grenadier squad there. Ludwig and Fitz blown to bits. Panther 4 moving up. Tiger there can actually flank the Pershing here, can actually get off a good blitz. Panther 4 getting pelted with bazooka rockets from the front. Pioneers moving about here. Mortar fire misses there. Crew, and there you go. Bazooka storm takes down the Panther for a matter of seconds there. Pershing next, Tiger next target. The Pershing all down to roughly half health here. A lot of bazooka fire there. Most shots fail to penetrate the Tiger's armor. Pershing falls back here though. Pioneers of White need to spread out those re-echelons before they get annihilated by the German mortar crew here, which is close to veteran defeat. They need to fix up that Pershing again. We got another Panther 4 there on the way for WUff. His Tiger bow is halfway to veteran defeat, and the ace state is there. Tiger engages the Pershing again, shots bounces once more. Pershing turns the turret, there you go. A lot of penetrating hits on the Tiger tank. He doesn't have enough issues for the 8-rep round, otherwise can do a lot of damage. They may threaten the Tiger with annihilation. In fact, if he had the 8-rep round, he can finish off. Tiger that's close to death needs to blitz it out of there, WUff. Smokescreen being laid down, needs to cover the machine gun, but he's really pushing it in. They need to be careful though with the Pershing, and in this case decides not to pursue, instead pushing forward with the infantry. He could try and rush the machine gun now that it's been smoked, and he does move in the ranges then to the smoke. Panther 4 almost done there. Centerwards, Pershing still watching, close to it to itself, gaining a lot of experience from the Tiger. Remember, the more experience a unit has, the more it also imparts to units fighting it. So for example, fighting a veteran 2 unit will give you more experience for your men than fighting a veteran 2 unit. Grenade there, ends up almost blowing up his own men. Gonna lose him as the Pershing. Mortifying the reactions, taking up huge damage on them. The second Panther 4 they're arriving for WUff and the Wehrmacht. The 21st Panzer Division. Gonna lose, they're getting blasted. Panther fast off the Pershing, damn his engine. There you go, Panther 4 flanking the Pershing, gets a penetrating hit there for the weaker rear armor. Veteran 2 for the Pershing, other Tiger could not move in, so trying to engage from the front, but looks like he's just hanging back there. Pershing taking a lot of damage there as the rear armor does not provide any protection there up close from the Panther 4. He's almost got the Pershing there. Nice work there by WUff, and he gets the Pershing, crushing, I think, the last of Arnolaz's hopes. and gaining victory for the fatherland. 41 points left there. He's laying down S-mines on the centre victory point. Panzer's moving for the southern one. Centre one being mined, northern one being defended. And there you go. Rifleman straight to the Panther 4 and the Panzer Grenadiers. We got a lot more Grenadiers on the way for WUff here. This is probably just attempting to fill up the victory points with men to hold them, no match to the cost at this point. And they sent another assault here, but it does them any minesweepers. It's just going to be rushing straight to the minefield. And there you go. Severe casualties for the rear sons, Rangers, Pioneers, they'll get annihilated in the process. Tiger moves in, 37 points left. Rangers somehow surviving several impacts there from the Tigers. 88 from the gun. There you go, retreats. Almost wiped there. BAR dropped. Bazooka crews opening up. The Panther 4 needs to get out of there. Promise he doesn't have any nearby smoke. He's got the Malt, which in theory could do it, but I don't think he's going to do it. And there you go. Second Panther 4 here knocked out by the Bazooka Storm of Arnolaz's echelons. 26 versus 43. Rangers rushing through the north here, going for the northern victory point. Oh, still got the MB-42 hiding behind a post or pillar. Tiger rolling for the southern point. We've got Grenadiers there rushing forward to defend it for the fatherland. Tiger also moving in there. There's being shot to bits there, and there you go. Arnolaz surrenders. A loss for the 2nd Armoured Division. A victory here for WUff and the 21st Panzer Division, having held, though with severe casualties here in the ruins of Lorraine. A victory there, I think, well, nicely played. Arnolaz, I think, made some good moves, but again, I think after the first Germans would try just put in more tanks first before aiming for the Pershing. Instead, he tried to play for a Pershing, missing an opportunity to bring up just more armor superiority, and that way locking down the map before WUff could get the Tiger, then punching him forward. Instead, he sort of ended up, in a sense, just allowing WUff to go for the Tiger there, though he was still close to sort of, I think, really locking down the map there. Plus, again, he had the map control, but he did what a lot of players failed to do, which is mine and prepare it for actually being attacked. Again, mines could have done a lot there to slow down WUff's Tiger and turn things around. Again, WUff's mines basically, you know, resulted in the loss of that Sherman. By accident, obviously, but again, their mines proved very helpful there for WUff, and I think what a good move there by WUff. So, I mean, overall, WUff played consistently better than ours, so Arnolaz, I think, played some pretty well as well. But again, had he built fuel caches and brought up more armor than a Pershing, I think Arnolaz could have won this hands down. But there you go. So I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. I hope it gives you decent matches. If you did, subscribe, tell friends, and, you know, share it with everyone. Also, a big thanks to Marcus for donating to the Propagandacast and supporting the war effort. Do consider doing it yourself. There are links in the video description. You can do so as well. But anyways, big thanks to Marcus. This is Imperial Dane signing off, and see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Cheers.